Good to see you, gamers. Hey, if you're a Persona fan, you are in the right place. Persona 4 Revival is still a ways off. So let's celebrate the most recent version of the game and its social links instead. After doing tons of soul searching, I've decided that these dozen are the cream of the Persona 4 social link crop. I'd argue that Persona 4's cast is the strongest of the three mainline entries, which made ranking these links, especially this top half, a very arduous process. I went back and forth a lot. Be prepared to be delighted and possibly enraged. The Judgment Link is so much better in Persona 4 compared to 3. Let me explain. In the previous entry, it feels like it's just a tacked-on token social link, which starts when you choose to oppose death and climb to the top of Tartarus. The hero just listens to the cliched lines 9 separate times as you climb the tower. My past self will sum it up for you. I can sense everyone's strengthened resolve. I can sense everyone's strengthened resolve. I can sense everyone's strengthened resolve. Sense everyone's strengthened resolve.
Strengthened resolve.
I can sense everyone's strengthened resolve.
Strengthened resolve.
I can sense everyone's strengthened resolve. I can sense everyone's
strengthened
resolve.
Strengthened resolve.
Strengthened resolve.
Persona 4, though, has a much trickier path towards the true ending. You have to trust your intuition and make sense of the clues, as well as Namatame's weird shadow monologue, and carefully navigate around Yosuke's urgency to just end it all right then and there.
We don't have time to wait! If we don't do this now, the cops will come back!
And even have the protagonist make a rare freakout at the entire party before gradually finding yourself looking for the true culprit, despite all evidence pointing to this poor schmuck.
Mayumi? Is that you?
You really feel like you earned that Judgment Arcana here, and that feeling continues to build as you progress. You can even fail this link, and the entire game, if you are unable to identify a viable suspect.
The case might be over now?
Though the truth will be forever lost in darkness.
Well, for us, it's more like it's lost in the fog.
Rank 5 only happens if you suggest Adachi as the true culprit, and in the golden version, you still might not find the truth if you believe in the protagonist's hope that Adachi can do the right thing. Which does not happen. Stay tuned. If successful, the game then leads you further into the investigation team's supposedly final confrontation. Those meetings with your friends, persevering even as the trail goes cold, searching the town for any info possible, going over the evidence and motivations, and those huge moments of triumph, like when you finally apprehend Adachi, they all help make the whole struggle feel worth it, and boost the camaraderie of an already tight-knit cast to truly satisfying levels.
Like we give a damn what you came for!
You've done what you want so far, but that'll end when we crush you!
Precisely. Then we know what we gotta do now. We'll defeat it for sure.
Like Persona 3, the Judgment Arcana makes total sense. In the final boss's mind, going against it is defying the judgment that the human race have brought upon themselves, which is a fragment of humanity that this grotesque eyeball just can't seem to understand. Powerful stuff. Its one failing is that it's automatic after rank 5. Nothing you do really can speed it up or make it stall, and there's no variation in anything. But compared to the previous game especially, this link feels much more worthwhile. It's got some cringy but charming humor at the end too.
We did it! Woohoo! Why didn't you guys say it?
People are beginning to stare. I don't think we should stay like this much longer.
My hand's getting kinda sweaty.
You'd think that the max rank of this Arcana, or the final judgment, would mark the end of the game. But then, a new social link appears that pushes that story just a little bit further. So Maria's ranked number 11 for me, and... Oh, wait, stop! Let me explain! God,
You're good now? Stupid jerk-faced marmalade muffin prick? All right then. As I was saying...
Marie makes the top half for sure. How could she not? Just her pouting and immature ranting words slurred together into one gigantic insult? It makes us chuckle.
As does
Steak skewers.
This isn't actually part of the social link, but her poetry segments are infinitely amusing. How she constantly drops them for the protagonist to find, despite always insisting that she had it all under wraps. The poems have substance and weight, with each written in a very different style than the last.
So drop the pathetic act. I want to dance, and that's a fact.
Adieu. Au revoir. Mon chéri.
My big issue with Marie's link is the amnesia factor. It's such an overused trope, especially in JRPGs.
Don't know how to create an engaging character? No problem. Just erase all of their memories, and then they become a compelling case to work on.
To be fair, her naivety has its moments, like eclectical outwits, her awe at the power of money, and simplistic labeling of Chie and Yukiko as green and red, which makes them panic shop for a more diverse wardrobe, which also still ends up becoming green and red.
However, the longer this goes, the more predictable it gets, especially when it drags on for so long.
This bamboo comb plot thread really gets run down. I like how there's different pairs of party members becoming involved with it, just for the variety of interplay, as they work hard to discover more about Marie, but nothing really gets solved in the least, until the very, very end, when it's revealed that the separation and death theme of the comb has something to do with Marie being merged with the Sagiri antagonists of the story, whose mission it is to follow mankind's wishes. You have to persevere to the true ending to find this out as well. Marie's basically sent as a secret spy from the godlike beings of the other world to absorb what she can about humanity's choices, and get saddled with fog absorption, marking her as something whose purpose is to just disappear.
I will disappear, taking the fog and the hollow forest with me. I am a being destined for non-existence.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy.
You're stupid! Hurting yourselves like that. If my death keeps you from being happy, what am I dying for?
Even though we know immediately that she'll tie into the climactic moment at some point, it's heart-wrenching for her to proclaim her fate to the party.
This is a grave. My grave. I'm going to die here.
And if you don't max this social link, the true ending is forever lost in the hollowed forest as she absorbs the fog and disappears forever. It's pretty dark. Besides that, it's an amusing social link that helps band the party together, since everyone gets to know this new girl. Also, this description of spending youth by building friendships, as Yosuke so awkwardly tries to describe it, makes Marie question her assumption that truth isn't real, especially when she realizes that she can make memories.
I had fun then. Take me there again sometime, okay? Of course I remember, you stupid jerk-faced twerp. I remember. It's a memory.
The build-up helps the endgame become less of an obligatory rescue mission, and the game does a great job at bringing this all back when she suddenly needs saving. If it wasn't for the cliched amnesia trope, Marie would definitely rank higher. Her voice actress is fantastic too. Another reason why we need a revival.
Thank you. I'm sorry, it's just that I'm happy.
Oh, yeah, okay, I get it. She's ranked way too low. Maybe I should have included her in the upcoming top 10. Oh, why would you do that? Oh. I'm guessing a lot of Persona fans put Naoto in this upper echelon as well. Her detective background is used very well in this.
The entire social link starts when you come across this suspicious guy who gives you a letter, and after Naoto dismisses it as a prank at first, soon enough her estate gets robbed, and you're deciphering an array of mini mystery clues with Naoto as she finds subsequent cards. And check this out. Phantom Thief.
I wonder, was that actually alluding to the upcoming Persona 5? Or was it just a happy coincidence?
Anyway, everything from using invisible ink that requires heat to decipher, riddles that are a bit too easy to figure out, like this mailbox one, and even some math problems arise, making Naoto's journey escalatingly complex as you attempt to find her missing items, which give us more insight into her detective affinity from a young age. The Link does a great job at keeping this flow going, all the while poking fun of Naoto's awkward inability to give proper thanks or expression to the protagonist for helping her through this. There's also opportunities to take jabs at Naoto, wondering if some of the mystery cards are in fact love letters, and suggesting that the man who gave the protagonist the cards saw that they were close.
Naoto's Link is also very surprising, in that it's one of the very few that can be reversed.
This feature is horribly underutilized in Persona 4, but midway through, if you have gotten tired of being given the runaround with all these mystery games, and the hero tells her to go it alone, she is distraught with the protagonist's callousness, and promptly runs off in disbelief. It's very surprising, but it makes it known how, despite her pleas for the hero not to walk home with her after school, and dismissing the seriousness of the situation, she really was looking forward to continuing this side hustle with him. One problem is the game doesn't make it too clear how to make the protagonist enter a romantic relationship. There's very specific dialogue choices you have to make, such as this one, which on the surface don't seem to make much of a difference, but they are necessary. Naoto's social link is one of the most difficult to master, and while that's definitely in line with her character and profession, it can be frustrating when the rest of the game's paths are fairly straightforward and linear. Other than that, this one has lots of intrigue, humor, and you get to see a rarely seen vulnerability from the stoic Detective Prince. Recommended.
With you, I can proudly proclaim that I am myself. Nothing more, but nothing less.
Like Yosuke, Yukiko's social link benefits from a whole different plotline and character arc that is totally separate from the main story.
While it's well known how she resents being the automatic successor to her family's hot springs inn, this social link gives us an inside look at Yukiko's honest efforts to break free from what seemed to be a predetermined destiny, as her shadow so eloquently frames it.
Historic inn? Manager training? I'm sick of all these things chaining me down!
See? That's very accurate. So,
historical tradition? Pride of the town? What a bunch of bull...
Okay, Shadow Yukiko. Yeah, we get it. Jeez, it's like, tell us how you really feel.
That's how I really feel.
Touché.
Yukiko goes all out, acquiring training and studying to be an interior designer, and even attempting to cook.
Yep, that running gag really gets a workout in Persona 4, doesn't it?
What the hell is this?
Indeed. Unfortunately, things don't start off any better here, though the hero at least is able to maintain consciousness compared to Mystery Food X.
So, it's incredible then that Yukiko actually manages to make some good food. Eventually, with some outside help from professionals. Okay, maybe it's not so great.
It's so heartwarming, especially since the hero has to endure this earlier on, and it's tough to make anything positive out of it. Although reading the detailed descriptions of just how bad the food is makes even depressing segments worth it. But Yukiko keeps trying, and she manages to overcome the omnipotent trap of Persona girls who aren't allowed to succeed in the kitchen.
Is it good? Really? Half the cooking was done by the head chef.
Oh, the head chef actually did a lot of it.
But let's count it anyway. The girls really need a win here.
She also gets an additional subplot with this sleazy advertising company. At first, they just insult the place, but then it turns into a more serious threat, as this TV crew wants to paint the inn in a very new, raunchy style, compromising the integrity of Yukiko and her entire family. You see her stand up to these pricks without a second thought, surprising herself and the inn staff in the process.
It's such a neat way for her to reconsider her future. Who knew that such gruff antagonism could have such big benefits?
All the traditions, the family history, they did matter to Yukiko. We see it bubble to the surface before she easily matches their threats, sends them away, and impresses the staff member. She goes through a journey of wanting desperately to leave, to then realizing what she wanted was just to have some say in how she'd do things if she was in charge. Compare this self-discovery to Chie, who just continues to do the same things and repeating her same mantra, finding herself in very similar situations that she's been in the past. And you can see how Yukiko grows tremendously more during her social link. It's not even a comparison. It's also adorable how she gradually warms to the protagonist too. Given her sheltered life, you know she's completely new to the very idea of romance. Though her hesitation definitely came in handy. God knows it wouldn't have turned out well if she'd have taken this creep up on his offer.
You're Yuki, right? You wanna go hang out somewhere?
What? Who are you?
So, are you coming or not?
I'm not going.
Fine!
Yukiko's subtle hints to the hero along the way just feel very genuine and pure, and this is one of the most hurtful scenes to play out if the choice is made to keep things platonic between the two. Any way you cut it, Yukiko is easily a top 10 pick in my estimation.
But whoa, that is way too many of the main cast in a row. Let's focus our attention instead on someone who works hard to bind this entire narrative together.
Woo! I'm home! Nanako! I'm back!
Oh man, this guy is a treasure. Easily one of the best characters in the game.
Dojima never gets a sniff of the alternate world. His reality is completely grounded in facts, and he balks at the notion of people being thrown into TVs. And yet, he still is able to use sound judgment to shed reasonable doubt on Namatame as being the true culprit. It also helps that he is the closest thing to a badass in Persona 4's cast that we got, taking off in an 80s-style car chase down drenched asphalt streets to catch the bad guy. But there's more to it than these plot-centric moments.
Dojima's social link works so well because he is simultaneously a very intimidating but also extremely sympathetic character.
You watch as he struggles mightily, trying to balance being a decent parent to Nanako with deciphering this bizarre murder case that he has very limited means to solve. And as you progress through the ranks, you find out there's a third element in play. It's only hinted at to start with, but you soon understand Dojima's fatigue with him attempting to find the runaway criminal who killed his wife in a hit and run. It's not all smooth sailing. One great feature is that you need to max out your social stats in order for the hero to have the guts to tell him point blank that he can do better as a father. And sometimes he just flips out, regardless of the chosen response, because he's flawed and imperfect, like all of us. That's what makes it a special thing to be able to help him reconnect with Nanako throughout the link. He's struggling so much to even acknowledge it. Without any other adults outside of work in his life, he gives himself an excuse to distance himself, and so he gets buried in a never-ending hunt for justice. All the while, Nanako's there, simply wanting 10 minutes of story time before bed. But he always puts her last, even when it's a medical emergency.
Man.
This link makes us think. Just how would this entire plotline have unfolded if the protagonist hadn't transferred over for a year? Dojima wouldn't have had a snowball's chance in hell to make any of this work.
There are some real bonding moments though. Having the hero undergo a drinking contest with him, witnessing the corny but important family celebration that brings the three together, culminating in the river walk that he was so reluctant to do since his wife's passing. And that coffee mug at the end. What better symbol of family acceptance can you get than a personalized mug? The ending secures his growth. He knows that it's just in his job description to do what he does, personal or otherwise, so he better just grin and bear it, while endeavoring to be a better parent for Nanako. And from this final scene, it's clear that Nanako develops the patience and maturity to accept this amazing, though sometimes very strained relationship, lumps and all.
Go get him, Dad! He's so So cool.
We're lucky that such a prominent supporting member in Persona 4 turned out to be one of the most complex and likable ones.
Rise's Link blends so well with the reach out to the truth theme of this game. At one point, she's juggling 3 different versions of herself.
Are you really Rosette?
What do you want?
Early on, you meet Rise, who doesn't have any of the vibrant, chipper attitude that her Rosette counterpart displays on the early commercials.
I'm tired of diets. Enough with going to the gym. Good thing there's something even I can handle.
And soon after, you're following her into the most disturbing dungeon of the game to allow her to settle things with her shadow self. It's no wonder she seems even more exhausted than the other members after being saved. There's so many different Rises, and given how she became a child actor early on, she's been struggling with identity all her life. False appreciation, no normal friends, a family life that was both shortened and very strict when it was there, and even something as simple as eating out at a fast food place could destroy her commercialized image.
Imagine waiting 8 years between visits to your favorite fast food place. That would be tougher than we think.
Rise's social link interplays very well with the main story, with her break from acting gradually turning into something she didn't expect as her younger replacement gains in popularity, and her manager, who she honestly wouldn't be out of line to call him a stalker early on, abruptly drops her as his client, then immediately reveals he's the new manager for her successor.
I'm not going back.
I understand. Well, now I can focus on my new job. I signed up as Kanami Mashita's manager. I have every confidence she'll be just as popular. No, even more popular than Rosette.
What the heck? That's not fair. After he made me answer? He never told me any of that when we were still working together.
What a jerk move, but also a great reflection of the harsh reality of show business.
Rise has that flirtatious demeanor that you see plenty of in the main story.
Damn, this girl's dangerous.
Which also shows up in humorous ways here, like how she desperately crafts a run away and marry the hero storyline to get this creep away from her. And these dialogue choices are some of the funniest in the game. But behind that, you see a real person who eventually stops hating her fabricated personality. Instead of rebuking her stardom, both publicly and privately, as she tries to do away with Rosette, she remembers how much of a positive influence she can be, as with her most dedicated fan, who turned her life around all because of a scripted anti-bullying promotion that she did as Rosette. Those acting skills and natural talents were part of her true self. After sifting through the regret, Rise realizes that she can pursue acting again with confidence because she was able to find her real self in between all of the tragedies and sacrifices that she's made along the way.
I ran away from my plain, gloomy self. Then I ran away from my idol self. I'm thinking of going back into showbiz this spring. I am Rosette after all, and when I consider it that way, I think I can have more fun working. A Rosette without a fake smile.
Were any other old school fans shocked that Adachi was chosen as a brand new social link for the golden version? Because I was not prepared for this.
The funny thing is the majority of Persona players already know what's in store from Adachi in the main storyline's perspective, but that's what makes this link, especially the last few rankings, so compelling, unnerving, and unpredictable.
Wow, very optimistic. Is your brain rotting or something?
It starts innocently enough, with his usual buffoonery as he attempts to hide himself from this rambling old woman. Ironically, she's the only one who attempts to bond with him, besides the protagonist. It's like he's always lashing out at anyone who dares to try and help him. There's glimpses of his parental and academic background early on, which helps us see how he became so dejected with his lot in life. You don't have an especially positive perception of this doofus anyway, but when he starts talking about the unrealistic standards for women he enjoys, and we get a whiff of his seething selfishness and self-preservation, it makes his eventual fate become a lot more clear. And yet, you become conflicted, because when Adachi visits the protagonist's residence for dinner, there's some genuine care and affection shown to Nanako, along with some great wordplay, arguing, and hidden talents, like his magic trick. You think, hey, maybe the new storyline has a happier ending in store for this guy.
And that's potentially true. The protagonist's relationship with Adachi can wildly swing in totally different ways depending on how far you pursue it, even to the hero's detriment.
For example, there's a hidden bad ending you can find, wherein the hero can withhold his identity from his friends, join him at the station, and destroy the only physical evidence tying him to the case.
The real killer wouldn't want the police to have this. But you're with me, right?
I am not kidding.
You actually did it!
Resulting in him blackmailing the protagonist for all eternity, since, hey, he did destroy evidence. That is a crime.
Who knew that Persona 4 could end so dark? It's supposed to be golden, rays of sunshine. This is worse than the bad ending of Persona 3. At least there, everyone's suffering just ends in a split second. Here, the protagonist spends the rest of his life blackmailed by a criminal that he set free, on the naive hope that Adachi would change. That is bleak, man.
Goodbye, partner.
This link is strong, and I think it would be even more powerful for the new Persona 4 fans that went into this game blind without knowing Adachi's involvement.
Most of us already know he's the bad guy, so all this extra stuff, while very interesting and compelling, doesn't make us pity him or give him much of a chance. This is one of the reasons why Adachi's link can't be higher. That, and the fact that maxing a link after becoming an accomplice is just messed up. But there's other ways it can play out, including a repenting Adachi using a letter from prison to help spur the protagonist into remembering the true cause of his, Adachi's, and Namatame's awakening to power. This is the one I, and hopefully you, prefer, as it still seals Adachi's fate, but gives him a redeeming end to his arc, after he admits defeat and willingly serves his punishment in the justice system. He even confesses to enjoying the time spent with the Dojima family.
Despite it all, I'm grateful to you. Thank you.
The closest he ever came to finding a place of belonging and acceptance, even though he tried to sabotage Nanako's study habits with his typical shortcut laziness.
It's probably the most complicated social link to sort through in our minds, but the most important thing for you to know is that
you're a dumbass.
That was Adachi, not me. I swear. What a rude prick, hey?
I doubt I'll ever see you again. But stay healthy. Goodbye.
Anyway, the complexity of this social link helps it endure, and it makes us think of all the plot threads many weeks after beating the game. Quality stuff, as is the next one. Okay, so before you freak out, oh!
What the hell is this?
Right. This isn't going to be a popular pick. After all, Ai is guilty of the most harsh, callous behavior of anyone in the game that's not named Adachi.
Of course, there's this scene where she completely and brutally tears down this poor guy who probably spent his entire day, well, maybe even the whole school year, working up the courage to talk to her. And her introduction as a useless manager to the sports team isn't any better. But the protagonist isn't spared either. After she makes him skip out of class, she proceeds to have him haul around her goods by the bagful. It's as if he's a camel.
And like she's the friggin' queen of the world.
It's clear from the dialogue choices that there's no real happy choice at times. Sometimes you feel like all the hero is doing is trying to make the best of a bad situation. Even when trying to find a happy medium, she just can't put herself down to an equal standing. Oh, the horror of having to share something. It's very real to I.
Here's the thing though. This link's narrative is totally unpredictable. It has so many twists and turns, including one that I never saw coming.
You never see it coming.
Very funny.
I herself was once bullied and ridiculed for both her parents' woeful status and her own appearance. Looking at her in-game model, you'd never have imagined that this would be the case. You learn how hard she had to work to improve her appearance, and how her family's sudden financial success gave her the second chance she always wanted. But while she changed her physical self for the better, she followed that up in the worst possible way, feeling justified in dishing out abuse the way that she had to during childhood. But eventually you see her insecurities, like wanting to find out if the jock athletes have an interest in her. This leads to her being so disillusioned at how boys could like girls for aspects other than their looks that she contemplates ending it all. Now, this part is pushed way further than it should be, but her raw emotion here, her dismay in thinking that she has nothing else to offer, it makes us stop and think about just what she's been through.
It's not like I have any other redeeming qualities.
We see all her poor choices after getting herself pretty and in shape catching up with her, especially with the boys spreading vulgar rumors about her, and she even gets struck by this jealous creep just as she begins to stand up for herself and the protagonist. It's a very brutal path of destruction to get there for everyone involved, but she does find her way. She gives one of the best item gifts in my opinion as well, dismissing her self-absorbed mirror and instead choosing to view herself in the eyes of others as she improves her reputation.
Another quirk is that there are so many different ways that this social link can play out.
You can reverse it multiple times, and the protagonist can enter a romantic relationship on multiple occasions. No other link in the entire game has nearly this much play and multiple pathways, so potentially, if you don't cheat by resetting, you can have things end for the pair very early on, or get a second chance for the protagonist to date her if you pass on the first one. Curiously, if you make it to the max level, the hero always ends with a lover relationship with I, even if he rejects her during their final conversation. I guess it's a testament to just how much she wanted to be seen and heard for herself. And this guy, he was the only one who was able to see her real truth.
You know what else is true in life? Death. Here's the thing. If you've rapidly advanced in years, like me, you likely have this social link ranked higher. I'm old, likely closer to death than many of you watching this, and therefore there's more relatable life experience for me to latch onto as we go through these gentle talks with a gentle lady.
Do you know what death is?
First of all, her introduction is simply ingenious. You are immediately put on edge as this dark scepter figure shambles towards you with that foreboding music piercing through, and without a clue about her true disposition. It's very unnerving, especially since you meet her at the hospital where those creepy noises keep popping up.
Hope that's not death.
She immediately makes the link intriguing too, assuring us multiple times that she is death.
I am death.
We obviously know not to take this literally, but it's very effective at motivating us to uncover Hisano's story.
It's depressing but intriguing to hear how adamant she is about going to hell when her time has come, and so you progress. Some of the best moments are when she asks questions that are likely too mature for the intended adolescent audience to understand, and Hisano is happy for this, rejoicing in the innocence of youth that the protagonist exudes. While almost the entire social link takes place by the riverbank, it's not one that needs a change in setting. Her stories are what transports us to those new places, with both her and the hero swapping tales, especially those about how she met her husband during a traveling fair, falling in love, and learning about his willingness to take on unfamiliar work just to provide for her. But suddenly, the protagonist is asked to stop seeing her due to his resemblance of her husband. He perseveres, finding the letters at the craftsman's shop, and see, here's where you get the happy conclusion, helping her relive her past. What? Huh? And then you understand what her constant death quotes came from, as she watched an illness take away the mental clarity of her beloved husband, only for small glimmers of it to resurface, reminding her of the man he once was that prevented her from ending his life while he slept.
But he forgot.
I haven't experienced a loved one tragically lose themselves like that, and hopefully you haven't either. But we don't have to know just how devastating that would feel.
This is tragic stuff. Thankfully, the social link ends on surprisingly optimistic terms, with Hisano relinquishing her fake death persona, finding some renewed motivation, and ultimately returning to her family, and spending the rest of her life with loved ones, instead of isolated and in mourning. Death isn't nearly as powerful of a theme compared to Persona 3, where it was omnipotent and everywhere. However, the death social link in 4 is much stronger than an amnesiac boy who just strings the player along with plot details. This one represents down-to-earth, relatable human experience that could have actually happened.
When it comes to the next link, the experience might not be relatable for everyone, but damn, is it engaging.
There is so much to unpack with Kanji. He even tells the protagonist straight out he knows that there's a lot going on in that head. He just feels too dumb to explain it. But he wants to take that first step.
It's always a challenge to completely accept ourselves, especially if our innate talents and interests deviate quite a bit from the norm. A lot of nerds like myself can relate to Kanji's aloof feeling.
Then there's the very unique way Atlas handles Kanji's sexual orientation. You get all the jokes and apparent hints that Kanji may be gay, especially during the guy's adventures featuring Yosuke and the hero.
Are you really... Am I really what?
He goes out of his way multiple times to refute the claims, even going into possible expulsion territory as he sneaks into the girl's tent.
To hell with this! If that's what you really think of me, then I'm gonna go hit the girls' tent right now!
Wait, well that's a little extreme. You don't have to go that far.
And later on, when he thinks wrongly about who's underneath at the hot springs. Oh man. However, when you're in the bathhouse shadow dungeon, it seems to be all but confirmed that Kanji isn't straight. The boss form alone does away with any kind of subtlety whatsoever. And before that, look at how his shadow self boasts about men and makes scathing comments towards girls' treatment of him.
I hate girls. Arrogant and self-centered. They cry if you get angry, they gossip behind your back, they spread nasty lies. What does it mean to be manly? Yes, I vastly prefer men.
So when you see Kanji rendezvous with Naoto multiple times, and clearly getting flustered, you think, okay, well that's it then. He's definitely gay.
But as we come to find out, Naoto is revealed to be female. So he was straight this whole time. Right?
There is no other game out there, even almost 20 years after Persona 4's original release, that weaves a character identity as complex and unpredictable as Kanji's.
It ain't a matter of guys or chicks. I'm just scared shitless of being rejected. I'm a total pansy who tries to make everyone hate me.
Oh, crap. I haven't even talked about the social link itself yet, have I? Well, that's just how great of a character Kanji is.
With that "making everyone hate me" quote in mind, Kanji continues to battle preconceived notions others have of him. Dude could just be chilling in the Aya restaurant or walking about on the streets, but he's constantly harassed by authority or law enforcement figures, even when it's concerning things that literally have nothing to do with him whatsoever, or in the latter case, a complete misunderstanding, as he's been busting his tail to help a young kid that the police are investigating. Little do they know he tried to rescue this doll from the river and then proceeded to make 3 more really elaborate dolls to cheer the kid up. He's constantly battling gossip and appearances, but with the hero's help, Kanji is able to admit to his true talents and feelings, even just admitting to the kid that he was the craftsman of those dolls. He even designs an entire puppet show experience, and for him to be at this comfort level, it's probably the ultimate show of true friendship in this game. He'll always be judged a bit more harshly. Even his own friends like Rise call some of his interests creepy, but he knows he just has to look for those who will accept him, instead of pushing people away with his violent streak.
Rule 1, be myself. Rule 2, get people to understand me.
There's some awesome quotes residing in this link as well. My favorites being, "I'm gonna renovate your ass!" And then later on, when he absolutely tears into the policeman, making them so awkward that they can't help but dismiss the whole thing altogether.
He probably has the most to overcome when it comes to finding that truth and self-acceptance, and it's well worth going on the journey to help him find that.
You're my hero, dude. And my best bud.
But there's one other character that you'd put even more on the line for.
Every day's great at your Junas.
Nanako is the type of character that everyone cherishes due to her pure heart, intelligence, and care for others.
Extremely mature for her age, she'll remember to do the laundry when the sun comes out, make the family breakfast, and even get a permission slip signed to make her dad go for parent-teacher interview night. Even if she isn't fully comprehending what problems the other party members are facing, she'll chip in whatever she can, like suggesting Teddy may have been a king in his world previously, or assuring Chie that mini-girls have a tough time dealing with bugs. I mean, my god, this is a kid who willingly samples cooking from Yukiko, Chie, and Rise just to make them feel better about themselves.
I think it tastes good.
Nanako-chan.
It's spicy, but it's still good.
But the main focus here is the bond she creates with the protagonist. Initially very shy and aloof,
Hello.
Nanako gradually accepts him as her big bro.
Even if I don't have a mom, I have Dad with me, and now I have a brother too.
There's charming moments all over, like when the protagonist uses a rubber band trick to amuse Nanako during a more heavy time.
I saw it. It went like zoom. Do it again. One more time.
Golden's new features like gardening add to the charm, and the feeling that the hero is truly part of the family, especially when you first make the thing with Nanako.
We did it!
Also, making a snowman is just saturated with warm fuzzies, and the extended third act makes this link even more heartwarming.
It's a teddy man! It looks so cool!
Their bond develops into more of a familial role each time the ranks progress, especially when Nanako questions the hero about the essence of life, like why people have to die and where they go, and whether heaven exists. The dialogue choices are tricky in this social link. You always feel like you're wavering on that line. Do you need to be blunt at times and tell her the complete truth? Or should you soften some facts to make sure her young psyche can handle it with good grace in due time? It's a balancing act that makes you consider how the protagonist should respond whenever her curious mind inquires about something. They become so close that the protagonist endures eating Valentine's chocolate Nanako made under the guidance of the Mystery Food X team. And, I mean, how could he not after this?
Big bro, thank you. I love you. Big bro?
Ooh, steep price to pay, but it's still worth it.
Did anyone else feel a deep sense of emptiness during that time when Nanako is captured and isn't there to greet the hero when he returns home every day?
You get so used to the hero being greeted with,
Welcome Welcome home, big bro.
And it's replaced by silence, except for that very downtrodden, somber melody that makes coming home feel so lonely each day. She's so important to the party as a whole that it makes complete sense why Yosuke wants to just pull a reverse Adachi and shove Namatame in there.
With an arcana like justice, this sequence of the game would seem to suggest that justice will not be served.
The tragedy is, if you think the ends justify the means and end it here, Nanako's chance for revival goes with it. They try to make it sound right, saying that she's been avenged, but it's a hollow, empty, sad ending.
I'll be all by myself in this house. It's gonna be lonely.
True justice requires thought, care, and deliberation, not acting on impulses. So make sure, if you're playing through, that you keep this in mind, because there's too much at stake.
Let's get a picture of you and me and Dad all together one day. I love you, big bro.
There! Done. That's it. Every single character in Persona 4 is accounted for. Yeah, I'm serious. Even the new links in the golden version, I've covered them as well. So, how could I stop at number 2? Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. It'll all make sense.
Our hearts are one, right, Sensei?
The fact that this simple and automatic social link is at the top speaks volumes about the quality of Persona 4's main cast. This crew just absolutely loves each other.
Unlike the stoic, much more independent and aloof party of Persona 3, who isolate themselves constantly, even as they share the same dorm complex, 4's crew genuinely enjoy spending time together. They commune all the time, despite no one living in the same place. Well, except for this original odd couple. It's shown in so many occasions, especially in the Golden Edition. They drive scooters to the beach, celebrate New Year's together, share ghost stories, and spend a weekend on the ski slopes. So it's no surprise that when a dark murder mystery befalls the town involving their peers and then themselves, they devote their beings fully to saving Inaba from whatever malevolent forces are at play. The investigation team just cares that much.
Whether it's part of the murder mystery, just a chill hangout session, or a grand event, we as players love to see them interact. They develop amazing chemistry.
We enjoy seeing them get together at their secret headquarters in Jeunesse, where they analyze the evidence and recent kidnappings, even when Chie has random dumb luck deductions that are successful.
Could the fog from over there be leaking into our world?
Huh? Well, you guys think that's it?
Or when Kanji seems completely out of it or asleep.
Hey, Kanji-kun, you still with us? You haven't said a word yet.
Well...
You weren't sleeping, were you?
Of course not. I was, lost in thought.
It's a charming moment, not annoying. You also get some input here too, with opportunities for the hero to be the first of the team to relay some hints and push the case forward. It's satisfying to be keeping up with the plot and be able to nudge his friends toward that elusive truth that remains so hard to find, even towards the very end of the game. Even in family social links like with Nanako, the protagonist finds some unlikely aid when his crew gets word of how she's gone missing. The school trips ratchet the likability up tenfold. Mystery Food X at the school camping trip leads to some very intriguing developments, what with drunk teachers.
Are there any rotten apples out and about? Any indecent students out there?
Yosuke's plan to go swimming with the girls, which ends the way it should. And that Port Island excursion to the dance club? Oh man. Teddy takes Kanji out during the King's game. We see Yukiko and Rise absolutely out of touch with reality, assumably because of the atmosphere. And Naoto epically fails at making a first impression that's separate from her detective self.
So I must further my studies.
That's it? No punchline?
That's so embarrassing. Isn't Naoto-kun embarrassing?
Are you making fun of me?
She also gets her first big look at how this group interacts in a daily basis, which, from her point of view, must have been horrifying at best.
Then we do stuff like Persona!
And bringing back Marie for just a second, the others on the investigation team only get fleeting glimpses of her. They only interact on rare occasions. But when she disappears, and the protagonist is the only one who has that deep connection and wants to help, there's absolutely no qualms or reservations from his group. They want to help her because she's important to the hero. There's no more explanation needed.
Thank you for saving me. And I'm sorry.
When you invest 100+ hours into the game, you want the characters in the story to be people that you really root for, who can bring out positive vibes even in the story's darkest moments.
Most of the game revolves around the investigation team, and we're lucky that each of them are so appealing to interact with. It's the best compliment you can give Persona 4.
Well, that's all of them. If you missed the less impressive half, I've got another video like this on the channel. Feel free to check that out and express your agreement, polite difference of opinion, or complete rage if I screwed up that royally. Persona games have always done a great job at presenting us with compelling characters and choices, and I'd love to hear which ones resonated with you. Thanks for checking this out, gamers. Take care of yourselves. And happy holidays from Gaming Introspection. Good to see ya.